Namaste everyone. Breastfeeding is a gift that lasts lifetime. Breastfeeding is the birthright of every newborn and an inborn instinct of every mother. To create awareness on the importance of breastfeeding, the first week of August is celebrated as Breastfeeding Week. The theme for this year is Protect Breastfeeding, a Shared Responsibility. So on this occasion, we, the Manipal OBG Society, are presenting to you a dialogue with the lactation consultant. I am Dr. Rajalakshmi, Secretary of Manipal OBG Society. I have with me Dr. Sunaina S. Rao from Honavar, who is a EC member of Manipal OBG Society and member Safe Motherhood Committee, Kasoga. Now I request Dr. Sunaina, I welcome Dr. Sunaina and I request her to uh, introduce and welcome our guest today, Dr. Mahima.
Thank you, Rajalakshmi. It was for your warm welcome and kind introduction. It gives me great pleasure to be a part of this program, which signifies the importance of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is an act which is synonymous with a mother's love. So at this point, I would like to chant a shloka from Skanda Purana and dedicate it to all the loving mothers on this globe. नास्ति मात्र समाछाया नास्ति मात्र समागतिः नास्ति मात्र समं त्राण नास्ति मात्र समाप्रभा. There is no shade like mother, no resort like a mother, no security like a mother, and there is no other ever giving fountain of life. So let me introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Mahima Pandit, a lactation consultant from Satara, Maharashtra. Dr. Mahima completed her college education from Hubli, Karnataka. She secured a merit seat in the government college, KIMS Hubli. She is a gold medalist in pharmacology. She explored the field of lactation after childbirth, having faced some issues herself. She worked as a lactation counselor for 3 years, and in 2021, she passed the IBLCE exam and became the International Board Certified Lactation Consultant. Her hobbies, she is from a musical family background and she's trained Hindustani vocalist and has been performing since 18 years. She's now practicing as a lactation consultant in Satara, Maharashtra, and also takes online consultation. Now I request Dr. Rajalakshmi to begin with the question. Over to Dr.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sunaina.
Thank you for the warm welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Mahima. So it's a pleasure to have you on this platform. So let's begin with asking you how soon a mother can breastfeed her baby.
Yeah. Firstly, there is something called as the golden hour, which are the first 60 minutes after birth, where the newborn is naturally programmed to go and find the mother's breast and latch on its own. And this whole procedure is called as the breast crawl. So the WHO and UNICEF have been emphasizing that the first breastfeeding session has to happen right on the OT table, whether it is the normal delivery or the cesarean section, with the help of the labor and medical personnel in the room. So in this first hour, unless the baby has documented symptomatic low glucose, then there is no need to give any other feed like formula. The baby should not be fed sugar water, diluted cow's milk, honey, gripe water, gold water, guthi, or any of such kinds at any time. So it is a custom-made product that is readily available at birth, which is the breast milk. And yeah, so the first 60 minutes is the first chance for us to start with the breastfeeding.
That was wonderful. What is the importance of colostrum? What is your take on that?
So if breast milk is called the liquid gold, then colostrum is the 24-karat liquid gold. Yeah, that's the importance. So the first milk, which is secreted and is thick and yellowish in color slightly, is called the colostrum. It is usually secreted in the first 3-4 days, and after that the milk matures. So surprisingly, people get offended when they see only little amount of colostrum in 1 or 2 spoons in the first day, and they get scared how it is going to fill the baby's stomach. So the thing is, baby's newborn stomach, like the newborn stomach capacity itself is 3 to 5 ml per feed in the first 2 days. So that is power packed, nutrient filled, immunoglobulins, protein filled, custom made product for the baby right at birth. So if the baby is not able to latch, it's our prime duty to at least hand express the colostrum and feed the baby. Yeah.
That's nice. Now I'll continue my how question. So you're told how soon to breastfeed. So how long and how often to breastfeed? That's what mothers usually ask us.
Yeah. So this is a two-part question. First, I will deal with how often to breastfeed. Yeah. So the strict 2-hour schedule, which is usually told by the hospital personnel, is mainly for the formula-fed babies. Breastfeeding is a natural process. So if the baby has uninterrupted access to both the breasts at all times in the day, the baby itself will search and latch to either of the breasts on its own. So for this to happen, there should be 24-hour kangaroo mother care, which is skin to skin, so that baby gets the feel of the skin, the smell of the sweat and breast milk, and it can carry on its own. So this has to be facilitated. So rooming in is very important. 24-hour kangaroo mother care is very important. So once this is done, the baby decides how often to feed. So just because the baby cries a lot or the baby is not sleeping at the night, it doesn't mean that your milk is not sufficient. You have to just keep feeding and boost the confidence of the mother. And second part is how long to breastfeed. So our like primate animals like chimpanzees and monkeys and all are known to breastfeed up to 5 to 7 years. So being their evolutionary successors, we are actually bound to breastfeed for 5 to 7 years, but at least WHO says at least breastfeed it 2 years. And after that, mutually, as much as the mother and baby feel comfortable. But WHO also says the first step is to exclusively breastfeed, like except necessary medications, nothing else should enter the baby's stomach for the first 6 months. So that is the description of exclusive breastfeeding. And even 1 bottle of formula has the power to reduce the supply, breast milk supply. So it's a prime duty to encourage the mothers to exclusively breastfeed for first 6 months, and thereafter with the solids they have to continue breastfeeding up to 2 years and beyond.
There are a number of techniques for breastfeeding. Which one, according to you, would be a correct one?
Yeah. So first of all, there is something called as the perfect latch, like the process by which the baby latches on or attaches onto the mother's breast. So I have a diagram here to help you understand. Yeah, I hope this is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It is visible.
So this is the mother's breast. This is the nipple. And this is the light brown part around the nipple. Idu ede, idu moletottu, and this is called areola, the black part. So usually what happens is the mother tries to latch the baby only with the help of nipple. So that should not happen, as the glandular tissue is present in the areola. So the whole maximum areola should be in the baby's mouth while latching. And the angle of the wide mouth opening should be 140 degrees. Like it has to be very wide mouth. And so that in this position, the chin automatically touches the breast and the nose gets free. So the mother is not tensed about the breast impinging on the baby's nose. And yeah, when this happens, first when the mother is seated, she has to get the baby to the breast when the baby opens its mouth wide. The mother should not push the breast into the baby's mouth. And when it is done and the wide mouth is like it's ready to latch, the baby has to be taken into an extended head position and latched onto the breast. Yeah. And for this to happen, we have to support the mother in proper positioning of the baby. So there are various methods like cradle method, cross cradle, and especially for cesarean section, the mother is advised to lay back, like it is a laid back position. So with a lot of pillows behind the back, the baby can be positioned on the mother's chest and the baby is held this way to proceed with the breastfeeding.
Wonderful. And your diagram was very beautiful and
Yeah.
it was very clear for the
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So can they lie down and breastfeed? You said extended.
Yeah.
Can they lie
Actually,
down on their side and breastfeed?
yeah, side lying is allowed for post cesarean section mothers in the first few days, and later on they can confidently do, but it has to be supervised. It should not be done when the mother is sleepy or there is no other caregiver supervising the breastfeeding diet.
Okay, now the baby has latched well, it has been sucking very well. So how do you know that mothers usually ask, how do we know that baby is getting enough milk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are only two main rules to remember, which will give a guarantee that the baby is being well fed. So first one is the baby has to pass at least 6 urines in a period of 24 hours. 24 ಗಂಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಸಲ ಆದರೂ ಯೂರಿನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. This is from since birth and beyond. It is the same rule. And the baby should gain weight according to the baby's own WHO growth chart. It doesn't depend on the sister-in-law's baby's weight. It doesn't depend on the Bajumane auntie's assessment of the baby. It depends on the urine output and the weight gain. And breastfed babies are very attuned to their hunger. So they can't be force-fed. So you have to trust the baby and trust yourself while breastfeeding. And another point to note is it takes the first 15 days to first 1 month for the supply to build. And after that, the breast milk quantity is same up to 6 months. So now people wonder that how is this possible? But the breast milk changes its quality. The exact amount of nutrients get built up for the baby's weight and baby's age accordingly. Even if the baby is not well, at that moment the breast milk has more immunoglobulins and less lactose and other fats. So it's a magical potion. Yeah. In short.
There are a number of superstitions all over and about what the mother should eat and what she should drink. So, do you have something to say about what foods would really affect the breastfeed?
Yeah. Actually, we have a large amount of malnourished breastfeeding mothers in India just because they are not allowed to take a good protein diet. So protein diet is like pulses, bele, kalu bele. So as soon as that word is uttered in the diet chart, the grandmothers and mothers start thinking that this will cause gas to the baby. Even non-veg is not allowed in non-vegetarian families too. And potato, cabbage, and there are certain foods that they regionally believe that it should not be given to the breastfeeding mother. But I have a diagram here to explain so that it gets cleared why this is a big myth. So here the mother takes the food inside and it reaches the mother's stomach, and if it is a gaseous substance like potato or besan or anything like that, that gas gets expelled from the mother's large intestine and the story is over. So if it is a gaseous food, then if the mother has to avoid, then if the mother is uncomfortable, that's the only reason. There is no need to avoid for the baby's cries or baby's colic. And what happens is only the nutrient parts get ingested and enters the circulation, mother circulation, and reaches the breast, and that gets secreted into the breast milk. So gas bubbles have never been documented to enter the blood circulation. So this is what I want to mention because most common doubt asked by families.
Absolutely clear.
Yeah. And there is another myth that more the mother drinks, more the milk the mother drinks, the more milk she produces. So this is again a huge myth. If she has a balanced meal containing of right amount of proteins, iron, calcium, and other nutrients, even fats, healthy fats like ghee, yeah, and in properly divided meals. It's not like 2 big meals in a day and you go on eating. So it has to be very well programmed. And a very well hydrated mother also produces good breast milk. So mother has to be well hydrated. And there are Yeah, so good protein and iron rich food is what I would recommend.
Yeah, you clarified good all the doubts, I think, in that.
Yes.
Say what food to eat and what food not to eat. Okay, so nowadays all are career-oriented women. Even if they get 6 month leave, after that they have to go for their work. So, what would you suggest for working mothers? Is there anything they can do, like storing the milk, breast milk, anything? What can they do?
Yeah, so firstly, 1 month or 15 days before the work starts, the mother is advised to start pumping or hand expressing at home and storing that milk in breast milk storage bags, which are easily available in the market. And this has to be stored in the deep freezer this can be done for at least 3 months. The milk can be stored in a deep freezer of a double door refrigerator for at least 3 months. And once the work starts, the mother has to breastfeed before going and soon after coming. And she has to pump in the office at the similar times where the baby used to feed when at home, when the mother was at home. And in the same time, the mother, like before going to office, she thaws the breast milk by keeping it in a bag of water or by keeping it in the refrigerator lower section. And the caregiver can feed the baby with the help of vati spoon or breastfeeding cup, breast milk feeding cup.
How much can be stored? How that bag you said breast milk bag?
Yeah.
How much does it contain?
Usually there are many brands which usually it is 120 ml and 240 ml bags that are available. So it should not be filled to the brim. There should be some space to be left for the breast milk to expand while freezing.
Okay.
Yeah. And babies usually when the mother starts going for work, they feed more at night to compensate for the loss of the comfort in the morning. Yeah. So this should be encouraged.
Yeah, that's a good option for them.
Yeah. So mainly family support is very important for such mothers, and extra help is also very important.
Right. Now I come to the last question, my last question, and it's about this burning problem today, the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So, what is your advice for patients regarding vaccination and breastfeeding?
Firstly, I would discuss COVID and breastfeeding. So WHO has totally cleared that COVID positive mothers who are not sick enough to be in ICU or anything else, they can safely breastfeed by taking the same aseptic precautions like wearing a mask while feeding and hand sanitizing frequently. Yeah. And vaccination part, recently even ICMR has cleared all the doubts that all the trials have proved that any age, like breastfeeding mothers of babies of any age can take both the vaccines safely. So I encourage more and more breastfeeding mothers to go for the vaccine and stay safe. So I would like to just summarize the whole thing in one point.
Yeah.
The best way you can encourage a breastfeeding mother is by supporting her and telling her that she is making enough milk for the baby. Yeah. And feeding frequently, early and often is the only mantra, and it is a guaranteed method for increasing the breast milk supply.
Thank you, Dr. Mahima,
Thanks so
for
much.
an excellent and elaborate fact sharing on breastfeeding. Mahima Pandit ಅವರು ಎದೆ ಹಾಲನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ತರ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಮಗುವನ್ನ ಯಾವ ತರ ಹಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ thank you, sincere thanks from Manipal OBG Society to Dr. Mahima.
Thank you so much for having me on this platform.
It was a pleasure having you here. I would also like to thank our parent IMAs, IMA Honavar and IMA Udupi Karavali for joining hands with Manipal OBG Society for this initiative. Thanks to Dr. Sunainar for joining. To conclude, dear mothers, breastfeeding can make the world healthier and happier. Success in breastfeeding is not the only responsibility of a woman. The promotion of breastfeeding is a collective societal responsibility. I think everyone will agree with this. So let's build a warm chain of support for every mother and baby to promote a rewarding breastfeeding experience. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.